Forget the blue cheese and ranch, just watch me do my dance. My chicken tender recipes have surmounted to over 200 million views. Humbly, I think I have the best chicken tenders on the internet. In today's video, I'm going to teach you all the ins and outs to get the perfect chicken tender and how to make this absolutely delicious hot honey chipotle sauce. Your breading probably falls off when you make chicken tenders. I know it. That is the #1 most concern that most of you tell me. My breading is falling off. What do? I have a few tricks up my sleeve. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sprinkle my tenders with a little bit of flour. Keep in mind, this is about 15 to 20 minutes before I intend on actually cooking the chicken. And after 15, 20 minutes, they're gonna absorb all that flour. It's gonna essentially dry out the surface of the chicken. So step number 2, we got our chicken vibing out on the side. It's time to make our batter. In a large bowl, we're gonna go with lots of all-purpose flour. 30 to 40% of this mixture of flour to starch. That's the ratio that I like to do. And if you wanna be fancy, you could do a little bit of potato starch. That's all up to you. Be careful. Onion powder is a killer. I've added way too much onion powder once and the freaking fried chicken tasted like Funyuns. Some garlic powder. Chipotle chili powder adds a nice little smoky flavor. Lots of smoked paprika. Did you know that smoked paprika or paprika in itself is dried bell pepper? To get a nice little kick, we're gonna do some cayenne pepper. We're gonna trust science. We're gonna add a little bit of baking powder. It creates small air pockets for a lighter, crispier batter. Please don't fact check me on that. Last but not least, I'm gonna do just a little bit of salt. So we got our mixture right here, and we're about to transfer about 1/3 of that mixture into another large bowl. We're gonna be making our tempura batter. I got a carbonated sparkling water. Extra special for you guys. You're gonna see it. We got the morning routine ass water. All jokes aside, so we're gonna take a cold, very important, cold carbonated water, and we're gonna slowly start drizzling. And as we drizzle, we're gonna be whisking. I would explain this as a more of a thin pancake, loose pancake batter consistency. We got our station. We got a big bowl of wet batter, dry batter. We got our dried out chicken. With one hand, you're gonna dip your wet batter, and one hand is for the dry batter. That's the rules. Once you start mixing hands in each batter, it's gonna start clumping very cleanly. Wet batter goes in. Then I'm gonna let it drip off all its excess moisture. Then I'm gonna go straight into the dry batter. And then with my other hand, I'm gonna cover it so my hand doesn't get exposed to the wet batter. I'm just gonna press it in. So now you have this nice and beautiful, light, thin batter that's crusted onto your chicken. I'm gonna give it a couple of shakes to release off all the dry batter. Then I'm gonna take it and go back into the wet batter. Look, this hand's dry. Then I'm gonna take my other hand. I'm gonna slowly start covering it with the wet batter again. And then just like clockwork, I'm gonna let it drip off all its excess moisture. Now it's gonna feel a little bit heavier. And then I'm gonna carefully go back into the dry batter. And then I'm gonna cover it with the dry batter. I'm gonna kind of press it in. I'm gonna drip off all the excess batter. And that one's gonna sit on our beautiful tray. Another big tip that I recommend: always do one batter first. So I'm only gonna do these 4. I'm gonna throw them into my fryer. I'm gonna cook them. I'm gonna see how they come out. I'm gonna make some adjustments if they need some seasoning or whatever. Don't be so like, I'm gonna read the instructions. There's no instructions. I can't do this. Learn. You gotta learn the techniques and the methods and the pattern. And the more you practice, the better you become. A lot of you ask me what to do with the leftover flour. This flour has been submerged in so much raw chicken. Some people mix in a little bit of the wet batter and they make like some fritters and fry them right away. But this has to go, unfortunately, into the trash. Okay, it's time to talk oil. So many of you do not deep fry at home because you are scared of the actual oil and you think it's so hard to do. I'm gonna break this down as simple as possible. If you wanna be fancy, you could buy a deep fryer just like this one. The perks of this is that it will regulate the temperature of the oil. It has a built-in basket and it's electric, so you don't have to mess with the temperature on the stovetop. Number 2, we have a Dutch oven. The reason a Dutch oven is useful is because it holds heat better than a regular pan. And when we're dropping cold chicken into hot oil, it's gonna drop in temperature. So this is usually what you wanna use if you have access to it. It's also very deep, so the chicken doesn't burn by touching the bottom of the pan. A good Dutch oven is pricey, so you can use a regular pan or a skillet, but I highly recommend using something like a Dutch oven. So I'm gonna be opting in to use my deep fryer because it is a little bit easier. And now a lot of you ask me what oil to use. I fry using an extra light olive oil, but if you have a really strong flavored avocado or olive oil, it's going to change the flavor of the result. So I highly recommend just using anything, canola, vegetable oil, peanut oil is really good. Anything with a high smoke point and not a lot of flavor. You have to leave a little bit of slack. Do not fill your oil all the way to the top because it will overfill and spill all over your kitchen. And now that becomes your chicken tender recipe and not mine. We're looking to fry at about 355 degrees. We want to maintain 350 though. If you are deep frying on the stovetop, you almost need a thermometer. It's really important to keep a nice hot oil. I'm just gonna drop them in. After about 5 minutes, I'm gonna actually pull them out and allow them to rest. Then after about just just a few minutes. We're gonna throw them back in for only 30 seconds to get them nice and extra crispy. The tenders are officially done and fried. And then we're gonna throw them onto a wire rack. Instead of just regular salt, I'm just gonna hit them with this cowboy butter rub. Now it's time to make the best chicken tender sauce of all time. I've made this sauce multiple times and I've perfected it, and it is the hot honey chipotle sauce. It is super simple, but it's so damn good. So to start, I got a pan, I got a nice little saucepan. I'm gonna turn on the heat to a nice medium low. You don't wanna burn the sauce. And we got a little bit of butter. So as my pan is coming to a nice medium low heat, I'm gonna toss in the butter and I'm just gonna start melting it down. So previously, whenever I make a chipotle sauce, I usually use a Chipotle's in adobo, which usually comes in a can. But recently, I've been actually using this Chipotle hot sauce. It is so much better. And I am making quite a bit of sauce, so I'm gonna get nice and generous. And if you can't find this hot sauce, you can easily use just Chipotle's in adobo and just blend them up and throw them in here. And I want you to keep something in mind. If your hot sauce is yelling for help right now, your pan is way too hot and you will scorch the hot sauce. It's gonna give it a really bitter flavor, which has happened to me before. When you start getting a few bubbles on the edges, that's when you know your sauce is coming together. And again, I don't want to scorch this, so I'm gonna lower the heat. To give this a little bit more body and kind of just give it a nice color, I'm actually gonna do a buffalo sauce, and I am gonna get nice and generous. And you wanna throw a little bit of seasoning in here. If you want, you could easily just add a little bit of salt. I'm gonna hit this with some cowboy butter seasoning. But again, the recipe is not at the mercy of that cowboy butter. You want the consistency of a really nice glaze. It looks absolutely gorgeous right now. Kill the heat, add the honey, and get generous. You really need it to offset all that fat and all the acidity from the hot sauce. So I'm gonna get really generous. And again, I told you I'm making quite a bit of sauce because I like to make extra and just store it. Everything here has like a shelf life of at least 6 months. Plus, I really wanna have enough sauce to drench every single tender comfortably. A little bit more buffalo sauce just to get that color. And as you saw, this was on low heat the entire time. You don't wanna scorch this, you essentially just wanna heat everything up. We're not cooking through anything. And that, my friends, is how you make some delicious hot. You grab the chicken tender, you dip it in the sauce gently, give it a nice little twirl. Don't throw them and start tossing them in a bowl and breaking the batter. Just give them a light stir. Just look how beautiful that tender is. And as always, now bismillah. That's gonna be the best tender you'll ever have. Zico, come try this. I'm gonna take a tender, roll it up.
I'm so ready for this, Mama. Just give it to me in my hand. I
You
don't
good?
care, yeah. And now bismillah. Oh. Bro, it's reminding me of Chick-fil-A, but like Polynesian on crack. Like the sweet and sour chili with the Polynesian like sweetness. I would not want ranch on this at all.